Welcome to the One Change Challenge, how to define and move ahead with your most pressing health goal. Before we start, let's do a little experiment. Now, close your eyes, and I want you to think about an annual event that brings about a warm fuzzy, something that you look forward to, something that happens every year, something that you reminisce about and create memories. All right, open your eyes and now write down your age. Now, here's a fun fact. In Canada, the average age of mortality for women is 83.9 years, or let's say 84 years. Now, let's do some math and take 84 years and subtract your age. And now think about how many of those annual events do you have left? For me, it's 24, if I'm lucky. I want you to think about somebody that's close to the age of 84 and consider their quality of life. Has their world expanded? Has it shrunk? Is it improving? Is it getting worse? And now I want you to think about yourself and consider, is your world expanding or is it shrinking? Have you started to sit certain things out because you're not feeling 100% confident to do those things? I want you to consider what you're doing now to fully protect the quality of your life so that as you age, you'll be able to fully enjoy those events that you look forward to and plan every year. Now, that was a bit grim, but it does put things in perspective. So now let's talk about the good news, because in order to fully enjoy those events, you don't have to revamp and overhaul your entire life, because you can just start with one thing, one small change, and change doesn't have to be hard. For example, my client Diane lost 50 pounds, really changed the course of her life with one small change. And that change was she took the sugar out of her coffee. Now, that did not lead to a 50-pound weight loss just with taking the sugar out. It did lead to other small changes, but that's where it started, and that's what's important. When you think about it, have you tried to cut out sugar or gluten or wine or whatever taboo food you might enjoy, started a fitness routine, tried to go to bed earlier, maybe started a meal plan, you maybe hit the scale to only be discouraged, or you've tried all those things at once and probably not felt good about yourself? The key is that change happens when you're feeling good and you enjoy the process and you find yourself winning along the way. It keeps you motivated. So stop doing too much too soon. The key to success is only changing one thing at a time. Choosing a small change makes you more likely to follow through on that change. And the idea is, in some ways, the smaller the better, so that it's really a no-brainer to be able to continue with that small change. And then recognizing your accomplishments helps you stay motivated to continue with that small change. Now, how do you start on making a small change? I'm going to provide some suggestions here. Now, the first thing I suggest is setting a process goal instead of an outcome goal. Now, an outcome goal is something that you don't have entire control over the outcome. For example, it might be something like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Well, you probably can lose 10 pounds, but you don't know when that's going to happen. You're not entirely in control of that outcome. But a process goal is kind of a check off the box goal, so that it will lead to a bigger outcome goal if you continue to check the boxes off. Like the examples I'm going to share with you. And it might be something like, getting 8 hours of sleep, or going to bed at this specific time, or drinking a specific amount of water daily, or getting a specific number of steps in daily. Your goal needs to be specific rather than something like, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to exercise more. These are vague and you never know when you've succeeded. So it's good if it's measurable Obviously achievable and realistic, because you can't run a marathon if you've not left the house or strapped on your runners. And I'm not suggesting running a marathon. If you're curious as to some small goal that you could start with, here are some ideas. One thing could be to increase your protein, bumping it up to a minimum of 100 grams daily. If you're only eating 30 grams of protein daily, then obviously 100 grams is going to be a lot, but you might need to quantify this in a food logging app like MyFitnessPal. But women are typically very low in protein, women 40 plus in particular. Protein keeps you fuller longer, it reduces energy swings, it supports lean muscle maintenance and growth, which is very important over aging. And if weight loss is a goal, makes it easier. Another thing would be to increase fiber to 25 grams daily. And again, food logging or keeping track of what you're eating is helpful to this end. Fiber reduces hot flashes by 20%. And I know that lots of women, 40 plus are starting to experience hot flashes. Visceral fat is that belly fat that is the heart unhealthy fat. So fiber helps to reduce that. It lowers cholesterol, improves cardiovascular health. It keeps you full longer, which of course, if weight loss is your goal, makes that easier. Now, the next thing I want to mention is movement. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. If you can increase this over the course of the day, it's going to energize you. It's going to make weight loss easier. And it's very simple. Just add more steps. Now, a worthy goal is 10,000 steps. But if you're only getting 3,000 steps daily, bumping up to 10 is going to be tough. But if you can bump that up to 4,000, you're winning. Just that small increment over time that you can add to is going to be helpful. Now, sleep is one of the most overlooked health boosts that you can do, and it's free. It improves all aspects of health, and remarkably, you wouldn't think that you could lose weight sleeping. It doesn't happen when you're sleeping, but when you improve the quantity and quality of your sleep, it does make weight loss easier if that's your goal. Now, resistance training is a must as we age because it prevents sarcopenia, which is muscle wasting, osteoporosis, which is bone density loss. It maintains your strength and function, and you don't need to join a gym or buy a bunch of equipment. Body weight workouts are very effective and doable. And you could do easy things like, I call them movement snacks, things like squats in the bathroom. Every time you pee, do 10 squats or do push-ups on your kitchen counter. So you don't have to overcomplicate things. You don't have to be an Olympic athlete to be able to resistance train. Resistance training is accessible and easy for everyone with a bit of direction. Again, if weight loss is your goal, it's going to make weight loss easier. Now, I mentioned lots, I mentioned 5, pick one thing, because you want to do that one thing, make that one change for a week or 2, or maybe 3 weeks. Catch yourself winning and celebrate those wins. Make it a big deal that, hey, I checked off the box today. And then add to that change. Like when you're ready, add another box to check off. And over time, you'll surprise yourself with how a little change can lead to massive change over time, so that you can continue to enjoy all those annual events and warm fuzzies well into your 80s. If you want more support, I'm on Instagram at Shauna Kaminsky. I do lots of short little videos and reels that give you tips and tricks. I also am doing a free challenge starting April 24th. And I'd love for you to join me. This is the URL. Reach out to me if you can't get this URL in this presentation. But I encourage you to make one small change starting this week. Your health you'll be surprised at how it will improve your health over time.